She told me this.
So I
She
think,
said she wants.
I think we're gonna do it next year for the talent
I
show.
love it. I'm thinking about it.
I
That's
think that would be
funny.
great.
That would be the best. She
Ben
told me
was
about
really
that. She
good.
woke up and.
She was laughing hysterically.
Yeah.
She's like, I can't stop
You
laughing.
mean like Will Farrell?
Yeah, Will
Yeah.
Ferrell.
That would be so good.
Yeah.
And-
You guys brought us here in person.
Halloween, so.
So, the picture of the cast of like the small picture of the cast, he hadn't had a haircut, but he had like a helmet on. Jeff was like, don't let his hair get that. No, you got it.
Awkward. Alright, I think the door's opening.
I know, I thought Julie Manella was coming. I guess they had a PTO meeting at Oak County.
Yeah, they did. They had a good time.
Her and Julie Reddy might be coming.
That was Julie.
What's doing? I mean, from what I see,
Your last
she's doing
name?
really well. Lonks, LONKS. I just got a glute sound in it. That's what I thought of. Somebody's trained me, right?
I had said her name, a parent at Old County, they're like, I don't know her
Oh.
name. I have no idea what it is.
Yep.
She does the tennis, right?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
When I said her name.
and she does tennis at Rick, boys and girls.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
Oh, good for her. Alright, we'll start in, I'm gonna give it 5
Yeah.
minutes.
People
It's not very
navigate
long meeting.
around the cafeteria and through all that stuff too. You can't go.
And then they come to an art show.
Oh, I went.
Which this stuff is awesome. We went
Yeah.
through it.
We walked through it, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Mm.
I can't draw anything. People are just,
The
pottery, like.
it's amazing. We were looking at the pictures of the
pictures
teachers.
of the teachers are amazing.
Theater
So
art
good.
stuff.
It's
They're
crazy.
painted. They're crazy.
I find that the kids.
I don't even know the
Very
teachers, but I.
Artistically inclined.
It's, those
At
pictures are
young,
nuts.
very young ages, like kindergartners and my.
You take a
husband's
sneak
thinking,
peek
I'm
at
like,
it because it's so good.
they're doing like illustrations, like they could write
Yes.
like the Sonics and they're big into Sonics and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and they're very good at it. I'm like, I could never draw that.
No, I could never do that.
If they're 6. I'm like, you have a promising future.
It's awesome if the teachers get those pictures too, like if they give me,
I know.
like, that's so good.
They're on the school's Wi-Fi. I can't sign into our own site.
Really?
They will.
Oh,
Can you
on
go
our
off
website.
hotspot instead?
Yeah, I just trying to avoid them.
Mm-hmm.
Very rude of school. Yeah. Very safe of the school, I guess, right?
And this building has dead spots, like,
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
because of
yeah.
old bricks or whatever, right? Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're saying it was a computer lab and me
Like
having
not
these
a
issues, I'm like, this is
I
Wi-Fi. Computer lab must have been real annoying.
Because we were dialed into dial.
Right?
They're
like
Exactly.
box computers.
well, it's funny, like the servers are right there. Like,
So
yeah, so.
Alright, so I just go next to that.
It's weird, that's not true.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Even as a hot, it's worse using my phone as a
Wow.
hotspot.
One of those areas.
Right, we'll go to the Wi-Fi and stop messing with them. Okay, yes. Yeah, updated everything. The whole website's updated, so everything's true, like our website. I don't know if anybody looks at our website, but it's.
I
all
feel
updated.
bad. I didn't even know you had a website.
Yeah, it's a Google website. It's on the Facebook page.
Okay.
It's
I'm
like
not
linked
a-
right onto it.
Not a Facebook girl either, but
But it is, it's just a Google website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
check it out.
What time's PTO for?
I think it's the same time.
Yeah.
I'll save you that time.
Well, I can look over them. I didn't know if it says at 6 or 6:30.
I think she said sit.
I thought it was 6. I was reading all of the, I was too busy reading all the notes. 6 o'clock. But it's probably gonna be a long thing. That would be my guess, so. Alright. Exactly. Thank you guys for coming and finding us. Who's gonna, did everybody get this sheet before we start? Alright. Do you have the minute? No.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we can just approve
Yeah, no.
if you want, I don't have to.
That is next on the agenda, is approving. There you go.
All right, so our last meeting was April 23rd, 2025. We approved the meeting minutes, success on the spectrum presented. The board discussed the Smithfield Little League Challenger Team, Positivity Showcase, and the Special Ed Director updated everyone, and we ended with open forum.
Nice. Yeah, great job. Proven, sounds good. I think most of us are here for that.
Yeah.
Alright. So we figured tonight we would go over this recap of everything that we did this year, because each year we build on what we've done the previous year. And things are always just slightly different too. Before we start talking about next year. So this year we had 6 meetings, including this one. 2 of them are parent only. The first one was decoding dyslexia in October. Our next meeting was in November. We talked about 504s versus IEPs. That was at East Smithfield Library. In January, Amanda Carr came. She is the clinician that we have obtained through Gateway, through a fund, and she'll be with us again next year. February was another parent only meeting. It was just an open forum, whoever wants to talk about whatever. April, which was just last month, we had Success on the Spectrum come, and then we have today. If you know that we have a website,
Yeah.
all of our meetings are also on the website. So you will find the agendas, the meeting minutes, and the recording of every meeting that we've had actually for the past 3 years. So it's updated after each meeting. We have continued the same initiatives that we have also been doing for the past at least year and a half, 2.5 years, I mean. We have Positivity Showcase, we have a very active Facebook page, again, the Google website, and the transportation form that we made for the special ed community that is a voluntary oh my gosh. Parents can volunteer to give information to their bus drivers.
Do they get that out?
It goes out at the beginning of the school year. This year it went out digitally first,
Yes.
and then you could get it as paper if you wanted. But this year was the first year that it went out digitally.
Okay.
It was like a week
I
or
wanna
two
say it was like
before.
August.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometime in August it went out. If you don't get it before the school year starts, you can also you can shoot us an email, or Eileen, and also ask the bus staff. They might have some paper copies on hand. I know last year they kept some on hand at the beginning of the year on all the buses,
Okay.
just
We're switching.
for that reason. So, yeah, for 3 years in a row, Gabriel had the same bus staff, and every year I still filled it out because I was like, small things could have changed, and like for him, like different words were triggering each year, and I'd just rather be safe than sorry. And if you fill it out, they have a binder for each bus. So if somebody were to cover the bus, the binder goes with the bus. Yeah, so what about the summer? She sent it up in the summer program last year too.
Yeah.
That one, I think, that
like,
was
why
that the
don't
one
you
that
say, like,
came
it's
like
coming
3
up?
different times with all the envelopes
Yeah.
and everything? But it only goes to students who have bus in their IEP too. So I know that
So
was
if they have a
something
five oh
too.
four, it doesn't go?
So in August, it went to everybody.
Oh,
That it goes out to everybody, and then in the summer, it went to just the students in FI.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that was like one of the specifics.
Yeah,
Yeah, because didn't we also ask principals to blast it out too? Was it that too? Because some of the, like, if some people missed it.
it was possible that they
Okay.
did, yeah, I think we sent it out before they got back, but. I think we
I
have it.
Yeah, I
It's
know it
on
got
our-
sent out before, but I thought we had the principals also send it out after school started because there were so many people
Yeah.
saying like, oh, I didn't see it or whatever, but.
Yeah, and I did link it to the district special ed page too, so it's there as well.
They can find a few stuff, but also email.
Thank you.
Do I dare say I did? Oh, okay, not a website. I was gonna say, wait a minute.
Let's say, is it on, do, it might be, if not, put that on. So events that we sponsored this year were our Unified Day that we do, it's all throughout the schools and more places in town. Got into it this year, monthly sensory times at the East Smithfield Public Library. We do a CPR first aid class, sensory friendly Santa, and the color run, walk, roll. This year, as a group, we also attended more events. So we did the Smithfield Summer Fest wasn't that like the end of July or something? It was like a big Smithfield thing at Deerfield. It was like with all the food trucks and everything. So We were part of that. We went to every open house, which we typically do go to. We went to the Light It Up Red at the State House for dyslexia awareness, Jersey Mike's bread relay, and the Ability Bridges Easter egg hunts. So that we built on that from last year. Anybody have any questions or anything about that? Yeah. Did you say it's an event that I forgot to write? Because honestly, last night I was losing it trying to figure out where it was. Alright. How you?
So our color run was awesome. We had over 600 people attend this year.
Wow.
These were all our partnerships we had. I already have it booked for next year, the first weekend in May, because there were some soccer issues, so I made sure I went on the next day and I booked everything. So we have it already approved. I've already started securing some more partnerships and trying to make it bigger and trying to add a concert to it in the beginning, and so looking to make it even bigger for next year. Seems like every year we're going up about 150 to 200 people.
Wow.
So
And look at all your partnerships.
Yeah, it's huge.
And this year
it's been what happened? Oh, yeah, so this year throwing out the different colors, we added more, so the three of us invest also money into this. We invested money to add other color stations because it just got so big, so we had fire at red. Last minute, we're like, all right, we need to add another color. We separated greens, we started and ended with greens. The Old County started, Pleasant View ended.
That's the first year we had Old County. So, and they had an awesome table.
Yeah, two tables. They
Yeah,
had
they
two
were
big,
Like big.
big tables, which was great, and they were upbeat and lively.
Yeah.
We had somebody represented from 4 out of the 5 schools there at tables throwing color, so it was great. We had Gallagher softball, which is great to see middle school kids coming out, and SHS softball as well. But it was awesome to come out and see so many people was great. I think to make it get even bigger would be awesome, and kids running in and out and just kids being kids and
yeah.
nobody batting an eye at anybody doing anything was the best part of it. And everybody just learning something as they walked or rolled or ran. Some people ran.
Yeah.
Don't know why. I did not, but
But
it was great. And
And the
everything.
weather cooperated, it was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Because it looked like it was supposed to
Yeah.
rain.
Yeah, it was
That's
awesome.
awesome.
And every year it's getting easier and easier, like we're tweaking like one thing to make it easier to, this year we had like the truck, so Bobby Kane, like,
And they just put the
Beautiful.
tables. It was
the
great.
first year we were carrying tables on our heads, so like it's
Like
it's
those
fun.
big
Oh,
tables.
those like one piece ones.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
At 6 a.m. all of us were like, by the time the color happened, we're all in that.
Last year was on the 4-wheelers, and then
Yeah.
he was like, oh, I can use my truck. I'm like, oh.
You could just drive it. Why didn't we do this before?
We did this the past 2 years, but it's great and everyone's helping out, the town, everybody's been awesome
Yeah.
with it. The YMCA talked about partnering up to do maybe a touch a truck also during the same time.
The Valley Breeze put us on the front page.
Again, 2 years in a
That
row,
was
so
good.
it's been great, and I'm hoping to see. Last year, I wanted to do an obstacle course, I
Tommy
think it'll be
Winfield's
good.
had his, their free
Those are awesome.
dogs, yeah.
That's
Who was
so
it?
cute.
Tommy Winfield with the
oh,
dogs,
yes, he was great,
Big hat.
yeah,
his dogs are awesome.
yeah.
His dogs are so
They're
awesome,
just nice
so,
people.
yes.
Yeah.
Sensory Stylist was giving out free haircuts, so that was cool.
She was
Yeah.
busy the whole time.
And she's working to pass a bill in Rhode Island, that she can go house to house.
Oh, yeah, cause that's like a thing where you're not allowed to.
You're not allowed to take, which is crazy because I know hairdressers that do it.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah, that's supposed to.
and because she's doing it for kids with needs, like, it's just a weird,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a thing.
because she's doing it legally, I think.
It was like a thing during COVID.
Yeah, I don't get how they tell him, like, it's just weird. You know, so she's fighting that, so it was great for her to come and she didn't take any money and, it was great, and then, yeah, so that was the color, and if anyone has any ideas.
You know who would be good is Amy, who's at the old extraordinary kids. She's well played. She does like the sand therapy play and like a bunch of like the sensory bins and stuff like that. But she's a her name is Amy. Well, her married name's Malay, but Ferreira, she goes under for her, like with all the letters that she is.
She has social groups there, right?
Yeah.
It's all
She does social groups. Luke did one this year.
All
And
play based, I think.
yeah,
Looked into it.
It was like social, it wasn't a little bit of play, a little like journaling, like a couple
Mhm.
things, but she has all that stuff she can like take.
Oh, great.
Like she's been doing a lot of events. So she's in she's on Fifth Ave,
Oh, okay.
you know,
The
she's
old
in
building,
that,
yes.
exactly.
If anyone has any ideas about the year, it isn't this year, so it takes about a year to
Yeah.
plan it, so. We got in touch with them. And then do you want to talk about positivity showcase?
So. That was, did we start off with Terry? Or do we end?
She
with
was the
Terry?
last one from last, she was.
Alright, so
the one
she was
from June.
June from last year.
Around there.
And then we started out with, so we've done September was Amanda Lemick at Old County, she was special educator. October was Megan Feely, special educator at La Perch. Then we had a regular ed teacher at Pleasant View, Adriana Altieri. For November, December was Carrie, no, we didn't do December, and we skipped December, and Carrie Ferreira and Amanda Lamount, and we did together, and that was January and February, and then. No, I'm lying. We did Adriana Altieri and Carrie Ferreira together, and then we did Amanda Lamount and William Plant at GMS together. And we are planning, I've sent out an email to principal, but I haven't heard back about April, May to go. So we're waiting on that. So hopefully we'll do it by next week. And then we have a June one already
Yeah.
planned, so. I just have to contact that, but we'd like to get April and May done before June.
Yeah. It's usually the order of the month.
It's usually our goal. Doesn't
That
always happen
I'm
that
still
way.
waiting to
True.
hear.
And also those are all, looking towards next year, I'd love to get sponsors.
Yeah,
That I could wear. And making.
For your stuff.
we
I
can
I'll
make the stuff.
Candles for all of the bags.
Yeah, that'd be
Right?
awesome.
Yeah.
We'll take anything, and then we purchase the gift cards.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, what it's,
Yeah, 'cause you don't charge for the color run.
Like,
We
No,
don't-
it's a free
everything's
event.
free.
Everything has
Yeah.
to be
So
free.
we can't fundraise.
Yeah,
Oh.
and by SELAC laws, we're not even, like,
Yeah.
events
Oh, right.
is not something that,
Yeah, cause I was
We're
thinking.
like-
gosh,
So I think
Yeah.
that indicates
busy.
money where we used to, for speakers and we used to do like childcare, whatever. We've taken that and dispersed it into a big
Yeah,
community event instead.
Yeah,
yeah,
And it's
Okay,
been
'cause-
we can take
I would
donated
think-
items, so if
Yeah.
people wanna donate, like they've donated water, paper towels and things like that, but
okay, yeah.
besides
Stay
that.
thousands
tuned,
of
that's in my mind for next year too, where there could be a work. Just because we are investing a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, I know you're.
do like a.
You're putting stuff out, but how do you get that?
Yeah, wish list or like that thing.
I think Ability Bridge did a wish list through Amazon,
Yeah.
that, just like things that we need.
Help.
They do, and yeah, and it's a.
Like
fun
even the
for-
sensory
Can you
event, I
accept
mean,
grants or
Kristen
no?
buys all of
Yeah.
the.
The stuff for the
Yeah.
bands and everything,
I
yeah.
know,
like,
it's-
And I'm constantly having to replenish that.
Partner with like.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to get about, she has a lot of.
I'm thinking David's always
clients
giving
already,
out,
Yeah.
you know,
Mail that she
I
gets
wonder if you
naturally.
could, can you accept like, or
Yeah,
no?
it's,
I don't know, because it's
yeah,
not
for
a,
all
it's
of
not a
the
group like the
sensory
same.
friendly, I
as
think
like a
arts and crafts,
PTO or
it's like a big
PTA.
thing. And then
Yeah.
even the
It's
Santa
supposed to
stuff,
be
like
just like
that
an
all comes out of
advisory, but we
Uh-huh.
do.
But we, you
all
can take a
things.
donation, can you take a monetary
We
donation?
can't take.
No.
No.
Because we're an
Ah,
extension of the special ed
Can
department.
you take like a gift card to Target or no?
That's
Or-
what that is.
Oh, okay. Then people just have to go out and buy the stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, so.
Write down the things that
Or
you,
like an Amazon
Yeah.
wish list, CELAC can do an
Yeah,
Amazon
and
wish
then-
list.
kind of like what's, almost like a
Yeah.
I
registry.
feel like it's just,
Yeah. We could
it's all.
I'm in the process of researching a way.
Yeah.
To get some other to make, because if it keeps, I mean, it's getting like
Big.
big.
Yeah.
Yeah, the color is huge, and the color, that is not cheap,
No,
that was
sure.
not cheap, so.
Even just probably the color alone.
The color alone,
But then,
for-
like,
yeah, what we needed.
Yeah, so you can't, like, they can put out like a donation jar at one of the things either.
I don't know.
Well, because we don't have an account that's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
It's like
like it
weird
would
as
go
they
under
go
one of
and
our
how
names
they
and
Tax
say.
it,
Yeah,
yeah,
it would
that's
be-
the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
It can't be like a nonprofit or something.
Like we,
No.
Have to
No,
start with
it's
different
a little,
funnel.
yeah, because it's like
You might
by
be able
law,
to
and
now,
there's
like,
state, like
the
there's Rhode Island
companies
special
funnel
regulations.
Ability, like if they're gonna
Yeah.
donate.
And then
it to
they
the bid, and then they
And that's
buy
what,
it
and like
later.
it specifically
PTOs.
states
Yeah.
that, like,
That-
we're not
have
even
to talk
supposed to
to
do
Deb about
events.
it.
Yeah.
And, but we do them because it's
Deb
what
would
builds the
definitely do it.
community and gets people together and gets the word out, but like that's
Well,
the
fundraising-
biggest no-no. When we're like, oh, that's what we do.
Yeah,
No.
PTOs could also
They can,
partner up with
yeah.
us and fundraise and then.
That could happen.
Yeah.
You can make somebody else like.
Yeah.
And then they fund.
The whole.
It would be like a
For
kind
now.
of field event,
Do you know?
see
that's
like
what we did
event
through fifth grade.
partnering with PTOs,
Yeah.
which probably is the.
Yeah.
Like with the,
Mm.
we're like,
Have
so and so
to
posted
plug it
them in collaboration with you.
Yeah, the
Mm.
parent groups, I think, in
Mhm.
town, because they're starting to all get involved.
Mhm.
Like, so I think that would be starting up next year, right?
Yeah.
Taking them in to have, you have a table, you have this, and maybe having them give whatever.
That'd be like.
Sponsor.
Yeah, that's a good
Like,
idea.
that is the
Sponsor.
meeting.
Yeah.
How that's
Yeah.
with the-
Something like that
President.
would be, yep,
Yeah.
the easiest way.
I know they bring them like.
Yeah, like.
And even Down syndrome Rhode Island, did a color too. They weren't even a color, they bought their own color and they. They had blue and. Which was really
Don't
good.
be the aggressive.
I love it.
Well, they had bomb, but.
Gotcha. That was the aggression. I actually have, I have a slow shutter of Steve hitting Jay in the face
Yeah,
Yeah,
with both of his, like it was.
the fire department too.
yes.
Yeah, they were aggressive.
Yes.
They were aggressive.
Yeah,
Police were like.
the police were like the fire was putting
Yes.
right in the face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, my kid was definitely.
See, mine was Susan Flynn.
Oh.
Susan Flynn got right in the face and it felt awful about it.
She's like, oh my God, it was my first time. I felt like it had grown on you.
They run through it like a trial.
Right, everybody tested out with us. So much can you throw?
Calling her neck and she's like, my God. I said, no, it's not bad. Oh, they're gentle.
It's just, we tell them to throw them up in the air, but people.
No, no,
don't.
they go.
Or like
They
right at the
go
chest.
Yeah.
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 But the fire department got their picture at the front page, that was their goal. Because the fire had it last year, so the fire was there. They were determined.
That's nice.
Next thing would be. Those are recap.
Yeah, so everyone look forward.
So, yeah, so coming up for ideas for next year, like the first year we had a lot of speakers, less parts of the meeting. Looking forward to kind of brainstorm together for looking for next year. Like one idea I brought to them last year was looking at like a kind of like a parent panel / teacher panel and having it centered around bridging, creating bridges, not gaps type thing. And having parents share their side and teachers share their side. If anybody ever wanted to get like candid, but not share personal information, but like just share how they're feeling, because I feel like parents don't understand teachers sometimes, teachers don't understand parents. So if we create kind of like a panel and have healthy open discussion.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea, because sometimes they come to this meeting and parents come to the meeting and they hear something, and then it's like black and white, like,
Right.
no, this is it, this is what I heard.
Right,
And it's not always that way, like,
right.
it's all individualized and there's all different strategies,
Yes.
and one thing might not work for one student, so I think that's a great idea. Cause I do think it's getting a little bit like this, you
Yeah,
know,
I think more of maybe
building
having,
together.
yeah,
Yeah.
more of
That works best.
how to make.
Work collaborative.
Right, and
Yeah.
not
Yes.
even just from this meeting, but if they read something somewhere or heard something somewhere,
Right.
it's like they're taking something maybe out of, like the context is wrong where they
Mhm.
heard it.
And by the way, that was me as a parent, even though I was a special educator. I've talked to Eileen about this. I would call, my son came here, dyslexia, and I'm like, no, this is what I heard. This is, why don't we have it? We need it. And then, you learn more and learn what's out there, what works and things
And
like
more-
that. And you have to listen to the child too.
Right.
Yeah, so like you said, they're all individualized. They can all have the exact same diagnosis, but not one thing will work the exact same for all of them.
Yeah.
And more of an
That's fine.
understanding. I think if each side understands each other, it's more of a collaborative.
I
approach,
think
'cause
it's
I
a
think,
great idea.
People don't understand that. Parents, like, you get fiery with your kid, and the same thing with teachers, like teachers are with these kids all day, and then they have to go home and take care of their kids. Like, so it's a whole,
There's a lot of those kids.
You know, and
Lots,
it's-
like, it's a.
it's tiring,
lot.
it's not an easy thing to sit and, you know, keep your kid alone, like go home. keep-
Not my class,
It's
I
a very-
that classroom, I'm because.
Some of the notes, I'm like, oh, he was great today. He played once.
It sounds like a great day every day.
Take
Oh,
your
now
win.
I'm having a very nice day. I'm like, oh, so what did he do?
I think.
But yeah, our class, they definitely have it. But this year I was like, you guys have 3 staff and 3 kids. Yeah, it's looked out.
Take your wins, right?
Yeah. But yeah, 'cause they had a huge class last year.
Oh, yeah.
The school goes out.
What happened?
Wanna open-
Oh, yeah, and
Google
then we're
Doc.
thinking about sending out a Google form and creating it and sending it to. Not just parents, but like teachers and
Everyone.
seeing like, what do they wanna see from speakers? What do they wanna see us have meetings about? What do they wanna see? I know, remember one time we had Think Inclusive, and then Sarah made it you could also use your teaching hours towards it, like doing something like that. Yeah. Not only parents learn,
Yeah.
teachers learn, and then we get everybody in the room and.
Yeah, we had that for
Um,
2 or 3 of our meetings.
I
I
think
think until, because she, was it you or was it her that like checked what teachers came into
Yep.
the Zoom too? I remember I had to give those names
Yeah.
and emails.
So maybe sending out a Google form, so everyone could be, if they wanna fill it out, obviously it's
Yeah.
not required, but.
It's a good idea.
But there's different ideas,
Yeah.
and people know,
Cause we're not running out of ideas, but it's like, alright.
and we don't wanna be repetitive
Yeah.
either,
And
every
if
year's the
people wanna
same
come to-
thing.
Yeah.
Well, and it would be anonymous too, like we would have
Yeah.
somebody say if they're a parent or a staff, so that way we kind of get that idea, but outside of
Yeah.
that, it's not like people need to put their names on it either, and I
Yeah.
think that helps people kind of say more about what they're looking for, how they feel about things, to help us huge. I also feel like so far we've done pretty good with speakers, like people have,
Yeah.
the things everyone's wanted.
Alright, so anybody have any ideas off the top of their head or things that they would like to see? What would you say, coffee?
The coffee morning. There's,
Oh, having
there's
more-
other SELAC that they do meetings sometimes, like just get-togethers and like a Saturday morning in a coffee shop. So we're thinking of not every month or all the time, but trying that out.
New place called Neurobrews.
Yeah.
It's just, you
I love
know,
that.
trialing that out
That's
next
your
year.
husband?
Yeah.
That was
Yep.
incredible.
I don't know if you guys knew that either, but it was originally built in our neighborhood.
Was it really?
Yeah,
That-
it's-
And then it went to Connecticut?
I guess so, and then, because
Came
one of the
back?
guys was walking his dog and he said, hey, what are you doing with this? And he was like, oh, well, I'm actually, fixing it up for somebody. I have done a bunch of these in the past. He goes, but that was made in this neighborhood, like however many years ago.
Wow.
So I don't know if Zach ever told her or not,
I don't
but
know.
yeah,
Oh, that's weird.
right?
That's weird.
Small.
I know.
So does everybody think that panel could work from a teacher standpoint? Do you think that would be
With the
Like-
bridging the gap?
Yeah.
Yes, I
Okay.
think that's needed, and I don't mean it in a bad way, I just,
but I think we need to hear both sides.
yeah, I just,
Okay.
yeah. I love that idea,
As a
actually,
teacher, do you prefer something like that after school or at night?
just not in the morning.
Well,
No, I know, cause I was hoping more people would be here, so I don't
It's May.
know.
Everyone.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it
I'm
is
checked
crazy
out,
time.
But just
I'm with
in
everybody.
general,
I'm not gonna lie.
you know.
Yeah. Well, we want parents there, so it would
Parents
be
are-
the best
Well,
time for
that's-
parents, that's because
Work.
teachers would probably be more available right after school.
What if we
they're
had
not from
teacher
home.
volunteer, because we would need so many parents to
Right,
volunteer.
that's why we
on
have to.
The panel and so many teachers too, to like,
Yeah,
not like against, but more of like a bridge.
yeah, I
you know,
like
like
that
a-
term too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think after
I would do it.
school, yeah.
What was the time that inclusion meeting was at?
I think parents are gonna be hard to come after school.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
I just, was that like a
was like
3:30
4.
start or
It was like
something?
3:30 or
It
4.
might,
I know
it might have been
Oh,
4.
I think it was
Some of
4.
some of the schools get
The
out.
strategic planning meeting that Dawn was running, those started at 4:30, those weren't as bad. As a start time, because it was like in between.
Like,
for
I think that
staff.
was the
Staff.
issue with like 4:30 was the issue because of the high school and the middle school getting out so much earlier.
I'm just saying, for
Yeah.
those meetings, like all of the high school and middle school staff were here. That's not, it was like, cause I don't know, I think it was enough after
Yeah,
school,
what
but
was
also.
Mandated to
For
get all of the high
teachers
school.
to stay, but to get parents too.
I
you know?
know, I mean, I
They
don't
didn't
know
say
if
that.
it's so much about the time as like the
They wanna
biggest,
do it.
like, if
Yeah.
you know, like ahead of time, like, I think. people
They
might
have work with
Yeah.
it.
But they might be
Yeah.
more, more of incentive to come if they knew that it would count as their PD. or-
Giveaways,
Yeah.
Yeah.
giveaway.
Yeah, like.
People love
Yeah.
giveaways. We'll get a
For each
sponsor
time.
giveaway.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do candles.
Yeah, like
Everybody
a
likes
gift
that.
basket, just giveaway, because you can't raffle, because then you have to fill out a
I
state
know.
form, so
Yeah.
if we just did a giveaway
Giveaway,
basket.
Mm.
We'll
And
do-
Eileen,
what's
I
that?
know, for another topic, and I don't even know if it's finalized, but I know the district was coming up with a new, MTSS framework that might be good for the parents to hear, like, what the
Honestly,
process is,
Because I think parents don't understand it, and they're
like
like,
the
yeah,
different steps,
Oh.
and like, I don't,
right.
Yep.
but I know that's still in the works though,
We
too.
had,
Yeah,
we had a
but
family.
it's I mean, I think it's a good topic,
Yeah,
like whether
because,
it's in the
like,
works
it-
or not, like I
Yeah,
think you can.
especially like at the beginning of the year, so,
And it's important for parents to know too, just because you're at MTSS, the goal isn't an IEP.
yeah.
But
Like,
a
so if
lot of
kids-
people don't even know what. and
So-
I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
We
just
had that-
explaining the basic of it.
Yeah.
We had that brought up to us, and
We-
they're like, I want an IEP, I'm like, but your kid's progressing,
Yeah,
that's great.
yeah.
Like, you don't need an
Right.
IEP,
Right.
that's the best case scenario, you don't need.
Right. And
That
some
was at the
students-
library.
Some students just can be an intervention kiddo,
Right.
you know?
Just a little bit, yeah, just a little bit to
Yeah.
get them, up or down the stairs, but it's.
We saw a little bit of that. The parent came in and was like, no, I want it. And Amanda was like, but that's not how that works.
Yeah.
I was like, she was like, but I want
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
No, you
Yeah,
can't just
for
sign up. for
time.
it.
Yeah, just, you know,
What are you
that-
saying? She
that was
doesn't,
nice.
oh, can't we just keep it? Like,
Yeah.
like, but she's not using it. Like, but it, I mean, in case she, it's like she was transitioning to high school, just one more year.
Just- that would be a good one, just because I don't think parents understand, and they're like, the kid's getting pulled, or it's like, it's a whole,
Mm.
and I
Fear
understand
system.
the parent side of it too, of like,
Yeah, of
uneasy
course, you
feeling
just want
of-
your child
yeah, like
to
what's going on.
learn and.
Yeah.
I know, I always think
successful.
about doing, just something with the curriculum too, like the math programs and the reading programs.
Yeah.
Like, what does it look like for your child during the day and.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
good.
I think people would wanna come see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be a good draw.
Cause a lot of times
Yeah.
at meetings, I'll be talking about it and it's probably like,
Yeah,
right?
like unless you see it,
Yeah,
you know?
Right.
I think like even the elementary curriculums, like I only know them because I also have them, but before I was like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
You know, I can come home and be
I
like,
actually
I
get
just
that
thought
question
that
a Curriculums, I get that a lot, and they link them.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
website, because the website does have all the links to the curriculums, if you wanna go and.
And that, I feel like people, I didn't know that.
Oh,
But I
really?
think that's enough, no, when you showed me, I was like, oh, all right, but that's another thing, like. You didn't know our website existed, I didn't know
Yeah.
those links existed.
Yeah.
Even the transportation form, like if people don't know, so that might be like even a good thing for. Even part of our
Is
first
anybody
meeting
on
is kind of maybe
Yeah.
going over the websites, like all of this is on this
Yeah.
website. And where to find
Yep.
certain things, because.
Yeah, just kind of a
I
navigation.
mean, I feel like the three of us are still finding things on different websites, like, oh, we do have this
Yeah.
here.
or even like breaking down what an intervention block looks like at the
Yeah.
elementary school and where everybody's.
The
at.
difference between the.
Yeah,
schools,
and
too.
why did they
Right.
get pulled this time, but now
Yeah.
they're, cause it is, it's
I don't
always.
understand Gallagher's intervention block with Jack, like he's pulled out like 3 times. I'm like, where were you? It's like, oh, I don't take library. I'm like, I don't take library. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, I go somewhere else. I'm like,
Where are you going?
okay. If there was a problem, they would tell me.
Yeah. That would be, those are good. Any specific speakers? Does anybody hear, anybody see anybody?
Have you had, Christine Levy speak?
She's actually going to be doing one of our meetings.
Really? I did one of her like webinars.
She's,
It was the one for,
Yeah,
special,
Yeah, I think I
yeah.
posted that last
Special.
this
yeah,
year.
he wants to come early and maybe even do like a coffee hour and talk to parents about, yeah,
She was really good.
she's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She came to the color run and made like a really awesome video
Yeah.
of all the kids coming.
That was cool.
Yeah, I found it very informative.
Yes, she is. She was an educator.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
her whole
kids.
background, yeah.
Yes, yes, we met, we did like, for some of the color run stuff, I met with some of the people one to one, and she was one that I met with, and she was just I like the conversation.
Yeah.
She's very calm. She's calm enough to talk to her. Like she's.
Yes, she has a very like soft and.
Yes, yes.
Julie and Julie wanna know. They were saying, is it too late, but I didn't
No.
to come, but I answered too late.
Oh,
I just, sorry,
she can still come.
Yeah,
sorry,
they can still come.
yeah,
We still have
You have
pizza,
ideas for next time.
yeah,
There's pizza and snacks.
and I'm sure they have ideas. We'd like to hear Old County.
yeah.
I'd love to hear them. That's like the only school that we really don't have.
Connection.
That'll be,
I'm moving onto that side of town.
You are?
To that side of
To
the.
that
town.
middle part of the town.
It's like, not that, like.
Honestly, if I get
Big,
hit
but-
by how much I'm moving to the other side of town, I'm like, I am moving 7 minutes away, literally.
He lives
You're
on,
fine.
like, right on Old County, or Barnum Pike.
Me?
It's on.
No.
Oh, Manny,
Not-
he lives right next door.
He's next door to Old
Yeah,
County.
he's next door to Old County,
Yeah, no,
I'm in Jones County.
so yeah. But that will be the, my will then have been in all 3 elementary
Oh, wow,
schools.
so you'll really.
Hmm.
I was like, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, that I experienced
too.
all of them.
Well, pre-K. Okay, come.
Trying to think of other, from a teacher standpoint, what do you think some teachers would want to say?
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Sorry. Never gave it a shot.
I think they would like wanna hear what parents are interested in.
Okay.
You know, because we're in school and we're like this.
Yeah.
And we think that you're understanding what we're doing in school, but maybe it's not always.
Yeah, the social emotional stuff that is taught in the schools at each level.
That was that
Curriculum
new,
of
that new
everyday speech, or
curriculum,
like
right? Is that what you're talking about?
everyday speech.
Is it
Yeah,
everyday
everyday
speech?
speech.
But just how it's done at like the different.
I know, like Lauren's answer would be awesome
That's what I'm
because she
saying,
does
it's
a
very
lot with
different.
the,
And every classroom could be
I'm trying to
different
think
based
of
on
her
the need
little
of the
fuzzy
classroom.
the
Right? Yeah,
emotions
tricky
and-
to-
So that's why I
Oh,
think you're
yeah,
really nice to
I
hear,
know,
like for the
I
parents to
can't
get the
think of it, but
overview
who
of
does it?
Curriculum, they have like all the little comic diaries.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Debbie,
there's super
that-
Oh, yeah, that
flats
might
and
be-
rock brain
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then ask Mrs. Sampson to come.
Yeah, and then there's just like responsive classroom, it's
Yeah.
like this, you know, see.
I have to be honest with you, like, I understand what that is, but I didn't realize how many people have absolutely no idea
Really?
about anything, like you say that, parents
Yeah.
look at you like.
And nobody in district.
Or
is-
MTS,
is
that, like, I mean, there's,
Different districts.
so there's a
all
big
different
gap.
things.
Something.
They do some of their
School,
content 16.
Yeah, some of them, yeah.
Yeah.
And even
And
just
then-
hearing
Show
the
me
difference
And
between
then
the
the everyday
elementary
speech
and middle
goes,
and how it's not at high school. Like, because at the high school level, they like able to do, should be
Yeah.
able to do
I
that.
think that like expectations, right?
Yeah.
Like high school is like, these are kind of the.
Yeah, they were,
expectations.
not done, I don't know the
Everyday
guy's
speech
name,
as
that was
a Lauren
explaining that at the
Sampson.
last.
yeah, and Michelle
strategic
Roberts, I
planning
think is
meeting. He was
awesome with the
like
fragment.
explaining the overview from the
Yeah.
elementary to the middle school
Yeah.
and then
That's a good,
how they take that to the high
they're a
school.
good team.
Yeah, they are.
We could ask them, do you think they'd be willing to speak at a meeting
Yeah.
or?
with time, I think everyone just needs
Lauren and-
Yeah,
some more, like if we pencil out our monthly, whatever, you know,
Right,
and then we could say, hey, would you mind?
coming to talk. I mean, Miss Roberts, she had offered to come to one of, I can't remember what meeting.
she
it
had
was.
offered to, like, I think she volunteered me to, about
It was
like
one-
IEP questions
yeah.
and things like that. Which I've attended her, like if it was a virtual day and she has the lunch bunch. She does such, have you been to
Yeah.
one of the, oh my gosh, it's so, and she does like, I don't know if it's Jeopardy or whatever, but it's all social scenarios and then the kids answer, yeah,
That's fun.
yeah.
That
I'm
is-
like, can I get a 26-year-old? Social.
It is funny with, not funny, but with IEPs kind of going off interventions of parents that are in a meeting, they're intimidated, they're yesing teachers to death. They're like, oh yeah, no, they were great. I felt weird to even, like, I'm like, oh, but this is what this means. And just knowing,
Yeah,
These are
yeah, the
your
brochures
goals.
that you had are great,
These-
and
yeah,
actually I used them
right,
this
they
year
were
too.
so.
The
like,
ABCs of IT
Some are so
and,
massive. Well, what does that mean? Like, well, you have this much for this much time, like, I didn't wanna ask, like, and teachers are great, I think it's just so, the process. is
yeah,
long,
or even
long.
like service time, like,
Yeah.
that's like, wait, Not every day. What are they gonna do the other days?
Point
But
33, what the
yeah,
fuck?
yeah.
Yes, yeah, and honestly, I didn't understand it until I went to school. Yes to everybody to death too. Cause I loved everybody. I'm like,
Yeah.
people are great. And then I'm like, I have no idea, like,
Yeah.
but, it is what it is. But just little things like that of just helping, basic questions of just handing out blank IEPs. Honestly, we could do that, we just have to like print out and just putting, these are service times, these are your goals. Just,
I have a bunch of stuff like that. I like, subscribe to all the things. Well, you don't even have an IEP. We have a 504 and I have like all this IEP planning. I'm like, why am I even doing this? I don't know. But
Yeah.
I have it all. I can share it with you, the stuff I have. But what about like an executive functioning specialist? Do you have anybody like that here?
Jen Jonas. I mean, it's awful to say because she's at Old County, but I've been told to go and observe Jen Jonas at Old County that, I know she was out for a little bit and Julie Reddy, who we were talking about, she's like, oh my gosh, I was struggling and she came back into school and it was like, you're amazing. So I've heard really good things about
Yeah.
Jen Jonas.
I have to.
I think a lot of
About
And for that,
executive
I personally have a lot of stuff on that because that I will not present, but
Well,
that is
APA
part of what I
or
do for
executive
work.
function.
I'm a
Executive
behavior
functioning,
and
like
interventionist,
just
like I'm the
how
admin.
to
of
embed
a
it into the classroom. So
Rise
it's
prep and
like a
with
natural,
as a charter
yeah.
school.
But Eileen
So
had
I
a great
oversee
training at the
all
beginning
all
of the year
behavior,
too.
all the behavior
Um,
stuff, all the IEPs,
Can't
all
remember the name, but
504s.
she's awesome.
The executive functioning
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
SEL stuff, we do what's called
Yeah.
discipline, which is very different, like from. It's
I feel
like
like that's a
naming
huge
all the things that happen.
I feel like
It
executive
works with
functioning
the
in here.
executive functioning stuff.
The deficits
Oh.
of that.
You know, we help for executive function is how can parents support at home?
Well, that's, I mean, like,
Yes, yeah.
like things that
Mm,
that we can do. I mean, I listen to all the things and have books and stuff and try to make the house super friendly to just get out the door in the morning.
Yeah,
But I feel like that is a big struggle for kids.
and just tips.
A lot of kids, too.
Yeah,
Parents,
not even just,
No.
but also maybe for teachers to look out for almost like how they decode dyslexia, but not, but like, that's a big like tell.
I have
I
a
feel
sheet
like.
that's like the ABCs too of executive function, like each letter talks about
Oh.
a different one and like how to work through it
Okay.
and like how to build on it and stuff, so. Obviously we will have one of them present it.
Well, from my own standpoint of like juggling executive functioning at home,
Fun.
more of personalizing it, like executive functioning for my
It's
kid, it's
different.
gonna look
It's different
so
for-
different.
no,
yeah.
no.
Depending
Yeah,
on
It
what, like,
depends
so
where they
like-
break down, right?
right, so for targeting for my own kid going into middle school, I was like, oh my god, I've never been ready. And I literally laminated like, before you go out the door, check off this, this is like your night, and then. It lasted maybe like a month and a half, 2 months, and then, but like, that's only just an example for
For him.
his, so maybe
Mm.
having parents come to the
Mine
table
was a
with
checklist.
what they would, like, 3 things you would like help with executive function, having like. Small group work through, or like peer to peer,
And some it might be like a task initiative, like how do we get
Right.
started
Many
and
steps.
Right.
and having
Yeah.
parents
Working
come
memory.
And then that stamina, so like maybe just put a post-it, like what's your next thought or
Yeah.
something, and then walk away, so
You
you're
could probably see the same thing, like I see it in kindergarten, in the kindergarten I work in, it's like the same kids have like the same issues doing the same things. And that's just like a regular kindergarten.
Jen's gonna be
Yeah.
thrilled that I,
But it-
not it, no.
and it's just things that
Yeah.
like home
No,
too,
but I
like just
heard it.
parents talking to other parents about like what worked to make sure your kid had the Chromebook charged.
Yeah.
I have a
Like,
whole
so
book
many
of
little-
executive function from teachers pay teachers. I bought the whole.
Yeah.
thing and printed it out.
I create a lot of different
Website.
things on.
I did
Do you?
that for Jack.
Just because like personal, like I know he needs help with these 5 things, so I'll just put those 5
Yeah.
things, I won't go to.
I'll have to
just
pull that out if we do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like collecting dust.
It's helpful, and it makes you not wanna pull out your pen anymore.
She has to cover things as he finishes them, he covers.
You have like the
I am.
Velcro.
I
or-
have Velcro.
I did just dry
So you
erase.
can feel it,
Yep.
like
I would not
movement,
know
like
I
you
have
go, we
to
got
go
one
on.
done.
She's been
Like-
down, and honestly, Logan only took a month and a half, and he
Oh,
was
good,
down.
yeah, cause Alice
um,
seems like she's so.
Oh, she's been fine
Yeah.
since like 4th grade, 3rd, 4th grade, she's been fine and then taking care of all of my life.
Yeah.
But, just the dry erase, cause he didn't want Velcro, he didn't
Oh,
wanna
yeah.
be
Yeah,
babied
a lot
at
of
all,
things.
I needed to make it a more, you know.
Yeah.
black and white.
Tailor made to-
Yeah, you gotta tailor it to what fits the individual kid. But yeah, any other, I think we have a lot of ideas that we could go for next year.
Yeah.
I like these. I think maybe starting with the bridging gaps would be a good inclusive meeting of getting a panel and working to get a panel of teachers and parents that want to share stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially if we get teachers on, that'll be good.
Yeah, first meeting, we should have most people, so we could really
Yeah.
drive that during that first meeting.
Right, right. And have, I would love to see it like a big, oh, great. Any other ideas for that? And we'll send out a form too,
Okay,
so if anyone doesn't,
yeah,
And these will be on it, like the ones that we talked about. like,
Yes,
to say,
exactly.
like,
Kind of like
do,
the inclusion
yeah.
committee, we had like that working doc that
Yeah,
just kept.
you could
going
even like
through
have
emails.
them like listed and people could pick or like rank. and
Yeah,
then
I
you
know,
know,
I
kind of
know.
what
I could
to
do it
put
on a
in.
form, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then a fill-in for any
Yeah.
other thoughts that we had.
And get, that way you can see what's the best,
yeah,
it seems like it does wanna. Do. And all, I think everybody else we've had a few times, right? Yeah. Okay, alright. Any,
so we talked about ESY,
Yeah.
that's up and running, staff isn't in place, we have our staff orientation on June 11th. And so that's when they get together, they know who the previous, the teacher is, who's sending the
Yeah.
kids, so they can have time to get information and get everyone prepared, so that's going on. Construction project here at the high school is underway in terms of planning and architecture. So this room, the room next door, and the next room over, these 3 rooms will become the new ISE classroom. So that construction is expected to begin in July and be done.
Cindy's looking like, and be
I know.
done by.
I know, and be done by,
Day one.
yeah.
It's a short timeline.
Yeah, it's very short because they have to build a bathroom, so
Like you're
I,
connecting it to the system.
yeah, like
Gotcha.
everything is there. So in
Right.
theory,
It shouldn't be that. hard.
it shouldn't be
But
that,
the
like
home
you're
ec
just,
is right.
yes, that's already
Is it
like,
listed like
done.
isn't it
Yeah.
like emergency construction or something?
I had my
Yeah,
walkthrough
like
last
that
week.
yeah,
So
yeah.
the reason for the home ec, because I brought that up. So the reason for the home ec was due to July 1st is the next budget cycle,
Well,
so.
they had only till the end of the year to spend the money.
Yes.
Right, so July 1st, we take up the next, and this is gonna cost way more than that,
Yeah.
will be, because that's just the floor and the drain. And this will be, but I'm very happy that it will now be in the center of the school, kids will not be in an old,
Believe me,
an old workshop.
because I was not happy.
Yes,
That's perfect timing.
an old workshop next to music, next to.
Cindy just heard my level.
It's great.
Where was, I thought it was right over there, the ISE room, no?
Oh, it's this
Next to the
corner.
Yeah.
Ah,
They're
Yeah.
private for workshop.
ah.
Yeah, the big
And then
garage
there's a
door.
closet.
Yeah.
Hidden.
Yeah, it's next to the wood shop and then the band room for kids who have sensory issues.
Oh.
Great time. So,
Oh,
this
that's
is
awesome.
the
that they're doing
bathroom.
that.
yes, so this is
Yeah.
gonna be great, and hopefully eventually. The little like that little outside area too, like that, maybe who knows, could be.
So
turned into-
that's over here.
This is the, but that little
Yeah.
area over there.
That was
Yeah,
like
there's
the Bruce
a-
Lenormand.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's this over
There's a
there.
pond, there's a Japanese garden, there's a pond.
Oh,
There's like
oh,
a
there's a
little.
turtle.
and like little- That's where the ducks are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
And the walls are gonna be knocked down, or it's gonna be one huge.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a huge room, yeah.
Well, I don't think it's gonna be,
Sensory.
yeah, it's gonna be sensory, a
sensory.
classroom, and then like kitchen.
Oh,
like a-
bathrooms.
oh,
Yeah.
nice, nice.
Mhm.
Okay.
Suppose.
So we're
Do
waiting
you
for the
still need,
architect.
wait, so do you, are they buying all new appliances and stuff, is that included? Remember, I'm just asking, cause the Cardis, is it something that? Is that under appliances, like, do they still need a new
I
stove?
have not seen any of that. I don't know what's going in there.
Yeah, the
Cause we spoke
architect
to
is
Dawn
still,
before when we had the Cardis donation.
right,
They needed a new stove,
And we can
oven,
get
whatever.
directions.
I, Jeff had put into play at the time a donation, and we were told they didn't need it. So
Right.
if they need it, just let me know, and I can get a brand new stove donated.
Okay.
Oh,
So
wow.
I don't know if that's still on the table.
I
2 years
haven't
ago.
seen the plant.
Yeah,
That's still.
you guys get more than I do,
Yeah,
so.
they're still doing the plant,
Yeah, 2 years ago, we had over $4,000 worth of furniture
Yeah.
donated to the room.
The ISC room.
Also, people will donate, we just.
Yeah, Joran Dean said absolutely, so at the time, so I think it's just a matter of asking.
But it's a great spot.
And then what else? What else do I have for update? Where, we do have a couple of openings, so we're interviewing now so that we're ready to, start in September. We usually, I know, usually this time of year, I talk to you about the grant, I talk to you about,
Yeah.
like, oh, is this, so, what do you think about this? And,
Yeah.
funding going here and going there. So we actually don't have our allocations yet. The federal government has not released any money yet. And so what happens, usually federal government releases money, it goes to the states, and the state divides it up according to, what your census is. The state hasn't gotten their allocation yet, so they haven't been able to
Oh, wow.
allocate it out to the district. So it's a little concerning, because
Mhm.
usually, like, we have money for summer projects in there. I have some salaries in there that some people work, during the summer, so I'm hoping that within the next week or two, maybe it's released. And then, we'll just go from there and hope that the amount is the same.
Yeah, right, and nothing's cut anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I'm hearing that there could be a small cut, but I won't know until I see it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
Positions are hiring. Like,
So
here.
there's a position open here, secondary special educator. And then there's one at La Perche, elementary ISC. And that's it. There's a couple para positions, open too.
Well, I'll give you an update on peace. So
Yeah,
Alicia,
Talk about-
yeah, she said this year was the largest turnout for kiddos that wanted to be part of the Unified Ambassadors for fifth grade.
Love it.
So that means like the message is working. She had a very successful program. They had a lot of guest speakers come in. I know the Ability Bridge came in last week or the week before and donated a lot of things for different classrooms,
Yeah.
which was awesome. So, yeah.
They went to all the schools.
Yeah,
They
they
went
did.
to all
Yeah.
5 schools and donated.
Wow.
They hit their first milestone.
Yeah.
I think they raised enough, I don't know what their milestone was, but they raised enough to donate
Yeah.
goods
it was
to
just
each
enough
school.
to-
And then,
Yeah. And
Unified Field Day was at La Perche.
Yeah, and she said that was a huge success.
That was
Nice.
really great.
And,
They always do a good job.
It was great, and Ability Bridge was there also, and the boys baseball team was also there, and the boys, Ability Bridge is always phenomenal, boys baseball team was great.
yeah, I think
that's
Ability
one
Bridge
kids.
is going to, I know,
There was one
Howe
county.
County
Yeah.
and Pleasant View,
Yeah, the
field
field
day
days,
to
yeah.
help out.
It just shows how important the younger unified programs are, because the majority of
It's
those
true,
kids
yeah.
are all in MJ's program.
Yeah.
Like it's
Um,
great to see.
And I
that
think she
make
did
a
a lot
change.
with the 3D printer where the kids got to
Yes.
design their own
We went,
accessibility,
Yeah,
and I know one of my students made like
It was
a.
Respect Week.
it was Respect Week.
We went,
we got-
yeah, we
Yeah,
went.
yeah,
to
yeah.
start
Braille and.
Yeah,
That
and
she
then they all
created.
different,
Yeah,
yeah.
pretend,
Right.
attention, have you seen the, they did, and then I was like, oh, you guys should do a 3D printer of an iPad, and
She
she did,
did.
she gave
Oh.
it to me at
Oh, really?
La Perche. She's like, I've been saving this. But she 3D printed an AAC device.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was awesome. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, this is so cool.
Yeah, one of my students designed a hook to help,
Cerebral palsy.
yeah, open
Yeah,
doors.
yeah.
Was it, what
Yeah.
was his name?
He was so excited. to
Lorenzo,
tell
no,
us.
Yeah,
not Lorenzo.
right.
Is that Lorenzo?
Lorenzo
He's a nice
Fasadi,
kid.
Yeah,
They were so
Great.
excited.
He was so excited to
explain
show, to show us.
That was
He's a
awesome.
good boy.
Yes, it was great.
And all those buddies have been showing up to baseball.
oh,
You
good.
know, last week was the first week I didn't have to play with Gabriel.
Oh.
His 6 years. That was like, this is weird. But there was like
Two
two
in
and
away game.
Yeah, and we were in Attleboro, like we weren't in Smithfield.
Wow, that
And
is
so-
awesome.
Bridge or just
No,
other
it was
kids?
just buddies,
Yeah,
like
right.
from the high school, from the middle school,
That's
there were
great.
elementary kids there, like just
All
these.
ages.
These were their buddies from school that showed, like came to Attleboro, and I was like, why have so many kids here? It's
Yeah.
Great.
How
Um,
did they get into that like, is it a program or?
That's challenge. You just
But
reach
wait,
out to
the buddies
challenge
in the school or
Yeah.
the baseball
school.
team? That's with each school is different.
them. Yeah.
So
They're-
at Pleasant View, so it's usually fifth
So
grade,
next year, no,
2 years from now.
2 years.
It's only
from
fifth
now.
grade.
Yeah,
fifth grade.
Okay.
yes.
But I think OC's has a.
They
have
have
a
a good
good
vibe
vibe.
tribe.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
vibe
I
tribe.
love the name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
it's great.
Allison, right?
Yes, yes. She's so
She's
clever.
the same age, like LaPerche, they link up buddies with the same age group, so each school is different.
Oh, okay.
And like the middle school is 7th and 8th graders that go into the classrooms and then our buddies throughout the school.
Okay.
And like
Mhm.
even, I mean, they were
Yeah.
great for the unified basketball team too. It's all buddies within the school, let's say after, yeah.
I love that.
Was
Is
that-
there a reason they only do it in fifth grade?
Fifth grade's like it's like like they do student
leaders.
council.
They,
too.
yeah, they do student
But they-
council, they do unified, but she has so many
Throughout
students,
the whole,
But you couldn't be like,
the ambassador
A
until
buddy.
fifth grade.
right, that's what I mean.
yes.
Yeah,
I mean, there's exposure to everything.
Yeah.
And everything that they do.
Especially.
Yeah, but I think with like LaPerche, they have the ISE classrooms, so it's like a little more specific, the same thing at the middle school and the high school. Where at Pleasant View, like everybody is already all together,
Mhm.
so. Like my daughter's in 1st grade and she's not in 5th grade as an ambassador, but she is a buddy to a boy in her classroom. And she helps him a lot, so she's not labeled as a buddy, but she does help out a lot with him, so it's just, they're doing it, it
Ben
just
has
is
certain
differently.
people that follow
Yeah.
him.
It's more of true
Yeah.
inclusion. You know,
Right.
like I feel like
It's not like labeled.
inclusion shouldn't be like buddies, it's more of just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
instilled in the classroom. I think.
Right,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
Like Ben has like a list of girls that like his little mom. Like
Oh, it's.
Paige
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Mila, but like the teacher does that usually,
Okay.
you know,
Mm.
just organically.
So it's the same, it's just not, like the 5th grade like has like the specific
A
group
role,
that do
yeah.
other. And they kind of like
Yeah.
help out and they like, they help out the younger kids to be like, this is how you be a role model and to, you know, those kind of things, cause they've done it for so many years.
And they learn different things too, like they have like unified, just like student council gets pulled, the unified kids get pulled, I think it's like every other week for 12 minutes or something like
Yeah.
that, and they learn different lessons or different things and.
And then during respect week, we went and the 5th graders were teaching all the other kids,
Oh, it was
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
the stimulation lab.
Yeah.
yeah,
It was great.
like why did this, you know, whatever the table was.
Yeah, it was great. We went to one of the stations and there was a
Goggles.
somebody speaking about the AAC device and I was like, you know, it actually has an AAC device. I'm like, no way. And
Yeah.
It was great to, which I told them too, I'll bring it. I have ridiculous amounts of iPads in my house. So I told Miss MJ, I bring them to LaPerche too, and the kids are using them to speak to Grayson and vice versa. They have like an
that's
iPad
great,
club there, which
yeah.
is awesome.
Something that could be you have so many iPads from like older iPads that, you know, I don't know why it's one of those things that's like, you just still have them, but they would probably work, you get new ones, and is there a way to donate them so they could be used for good to like the schools? Do you know?
There could
They would
be
have to go
potentially
through
for.
the-
Yeah, so Apple it's tricky to use the iPads, they don't upgrade, so as versions of
Get
the app,
newer,
of the communication
they're not
apps.
But I know what
update,
you're
like they
saying,
don't.
like the old, if
older
you
ones-
had an old phone, it's.
Right,
They
the older
don't
ones
have
don't
like
do
an
it.
iOS.
Right, and then, and
It's how they stay in business.
yeah, and then the other tricky thing of Apple is when we have an iPad and we load it with an app, that iPad has to be like registered to the school. And so we can't register like an iPad bought off of Amazon or off of
Oh,
Target, like
boy.
it has to.
Well, I
it has to-
remember that.
I find
So many
it
ridiculous.
Like,
Like,
right
right
from
from
it's like
Apple,
shares and stuff,
and
and
it
it was
can
like all the
register
same.
on
the platform.
Because it went through my insurance, like I
Yeah.
couldn't just gift it to the district, even though other kids could have used it because
Yeah.
they were out of
Oh, the
it.
cereal,
Like it was
they
just-
track them.
I think it was
Apple
fridges,
track,
coolers,
Apple
walkers,
track
like.
everything.
Yeah, and
Crazy
so
amounts
then,
of
once
things.
we get it uploaded as part of like the district, then we can push apps out to them and update them and
know.
you set them to, update automatically, but it's all controlled from a like special Apple account.
Gotcha.
We thought
Yeah.
of doing a library, we were talking about that, but maybe we could do also an iPad library and have it so we could, I know the program does cost so much money, but it's like $250. But then there's 1 month that it's half off, but if we get so many licenses through us or somebody, maybe we could have it and then give it to the schools just to learn about AAC or to learn about, like, they could SELAC and just like we're gonna, have a library with books. We could do the same with iPad.
Yeah.
And have them go to like, oh, Pleasant View wants 5 iPads to just have a simulation day or whatever. We could do that or.
I saw the Sherlock, the Sherlock Center always shows up. I wonder
They
if
loan
they loan,
stuff.
yeah, they loan out things too to schools, right?
Tech access.
It depends
Yeah.
on what, like everything, it depends on what it is, but
Yeah.
I can talk to Gabriel's teacher.
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
Cause his
that's
teacher was here then.
Some
she
people
came.
like.
Was it Steph?
No, Christine.
All right, because I used to work with Steph.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So Christine, hi Gabriel, when he was,
Do you know?
she's the one that put stuff on the walls.
Oh,
That was her. And she just got him back in middle
I'm on like 7.
oh,
Yeah,
wow,
so-
for Greco, huh?
But
Yeah.
I've been buying
But
refurbished
on
iPads
the
because
Cape,
sometimes
she
it's cheaper than when you
spent
craft.
an
It's
entire
great.
$2,500
Like this
grant.
Netflix one. I had for
Wow.
like 5 years.
Just
the other
it.
ones,
That's
So I'm
awesome.
sure I can be like,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
can we
Right.
have some of this stuff?
Right? I'm like, I don't know how, but I just keep
Yeah, cause you
downloading.
usually get like 2 loads.
Right,
can
you're
put-
supposed to get 2 or 3,
Yeah.
but I have it on my phone now, like, and
Yeah.
he finds it, like. The other day he was finding it and went in, I'm like, I forgot I had Proloco on here, and he just started using it, I'm like. Oh. I just,
I feel like it's one of those things that people are like, they don't wanna get rid of it, because there were so many
Right.
personal things, like,
Yeah.
even though you restore it to factory settings.
You
but,
never
like,
know.
Still, yeah, you still, but I feel like if it were going to like a school or something that could do good, I feel like people would be more apt to be like, oh, finally, I can get rid of these 5 iPads that are sitting in
Yes,
this
yes.
bin or in my closet,
Yeah.
can help.
Yeah.
Like
like an AAC type of.
all of the same things, like have that like rotation of the different. Like, you know what I mean, like how they did it, maybe like with the-
Simulation lab?
yeah, like I think that would be good for, I think staff and parents that go through like just different types of things, cause I think. Some of that too is, I mean, we all have our own situations, but you don't necessarily think about somebody else's situation.
Mm.
So that, could just be cool for being like, oh, like how Amanda was saying, she talked to people about the iPad and everything. And I was teaching some of the kids how to read Braille because Gabriel reads Braille. So I was at that table, like we were each at different tables being like, yeah, I do this and this is what we do. And so that was pretty cool. So that would, I think even having like an adult, because I bet people see Gray with his iPad all the time and have no clue. But if we did a simulation and people saw it, they might be more apt to interact and not, I think of like the going out in public and still having people react and like give looks and stuff. Just so having that simulation is like a, hey, look.
Yeah. Do you,
Yeah.
in the school, cause the school I work in, it's, they used to call it like their belief program, and now it's like life skills, but, they have a lot of those. And they have like the thing that you guys donated to Deerfield.
Well, that was. for their kids.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so like we have one of those on, at the park, like the swing set area, where we go for recess. But they also, so I'm in kindergarten, they come in and they talk to all the kids about like, because they try to make everybody like inclusive and all that, but they want them to understand what it is, so they're not like, well, what is it? So they're just curious at that age, I don't know.
At
Anyway.
first, I think, kids and teachers don't know, because it's up to the individual family. Some families don't want other kids to touch it. Families don't want other kids to. Like, I would say it depends on the individual families and how much they feel they want to share, right? So for me, I was like, I want every book read, I want every kid to touch it, I want every kid to talk to them, like it was, my experience is different, I'm sensitive to other families that might not
Right.
want to, because some people are
Oh.
not at the level of, like, so, but for Gray, it's worked in his benefit that every kid, they have an iPad club now. So like they pull, it's been awesome, so they pull kids and they gear it towards science, so it's towards the curriculum, and I program his iPad with all the science terms. So that as the kids are learning science, they're touching the extra iPads and he's working alongside peers also with it, so they are understanding it and they're also have like a respect for Gray that this is how he talks and it takes,
Yeah.
he's so
Right.
quick on it and how does he get so quick? And they're like, talk through it and they sometimes if he can't find something, now kids know how to find
Yeah,
it.
they can.
So it's like a dual
That's all.
purpose, they're learning
Yeah.
about Gray and
Right.
how he
And then
he
learning.
learns, and but they're also learning science too.
Right, and it has worked in his
That's
benefit. Like,
awesome.
we went on a field trip recently and we went to the dump or the landfill. This is what we call it, the dump. We went to the landfill and he was so like it's like like a lot of kids are like. But then like throughout the whole day, he starts his iPad like, I want more nerd clusters. I want more nerd clusters. And the kids didn't even like blink an eye. It was the parents and like,
Yeah.
oh, like what? And the kids,
What's that?
they're just so used to it. You know, so they're
Yeah.
like, this is normal, but in the middle of her discussing trash, she's like, no. Nerd clusters,
dude.
I want go lunch. It's just, it's funny that but I would say it depends on,
Yeah.
I'm always, I like, there's certain things that parents want,
And some, yeah.
Some-
otherwise it-
yeah, so everybody's different.
Hard.
But from my standpoint, like, I sent in books, I sent in like things, I send in iPad, like, so but I'm sensitive to know
That, yeah.
the
No,
next kid with an iPad, their
Mm.
parent might not be at that
Right.
comfortability yet, I don't know. It's all different, I guess.
That
That
makes
makes
sense, like having that people just understanding what the iPad is used for, not necessarily for them to touch.
Right,
someone
yeah.
else's,
Just so
but
that-
just being
Right.
like,
Oh,
having the iPad, this is.
That's
this could
what
be
they're
why
doing,
they have
yeah.
it,
Right,
and not being,
Like-
you know.
and more of it just in the, I mean, if an AAC devices in every classroom, it's, everyone's gonna know, there's so many kids that have AAC devices now, it's not even just nonverbal kids that talk, have them just because they can't get out feelings or whatever else,
They have them right on their phone too, so it's like, because as they get older, it's more
Yeah.
natural to
Yeah.
have the phone, and so they just.
Yep.
Take it out and use.
Yeah.
It's more visuals with verbal kids than maybe non-verbal kids.
Visuals help everybody, they help me,
Yeah.
I'm not
But I'm
gonna lie.
saying, like, in those moments that, like, especially the social emotional thing, when they can't talk, like. It's still.
It's true, yeah.
Building.
Visuals always help, yeah. Right, any other ideas? Questions, concerns?
No, well, we appreciate you at the schools. I love Jersey Mike.